and a very warm welcome to yet another scintillating edition of the program CAC Weekly, a weekly program that keeps you abreast on the activities and the achievement of the Corporate Affairs Commission. I am Amina Jibril. Now, coming up on the program, we shall be looking at the role of beneficial ownership disclosure arrangement in the fight against illicit trades. Also, we shall look at how companies' registration portal adds more components, plus how to register a company online seamlessly. We'll be right back after this break. Do stay with us.
So, since the 3rd of January 2021, we started receiving information on beneficial ownership. And as a deliberate policy and in line with the commitment made by Mr. President, this is one information that is available at no cost. If you go to our website, search for cac.gov.ng or vor.cac.gov.ng, for only companies registered from 3rd January to date, you can see the person's significant control without having to pay that. But that is not good enough. The ideal standard based on the requirements of the EITI and OGP is that the information should be available in open data format. By open data format, it allows you to access this information not on individual company basis. If you need to have the information on the totality of the companies that have actually filed information on beneficial owners, or whether cross-beneficial owner across different entities, then you should be able to do that. So the second phase of the system will take us to what we have as open data format for beneficial ownership register. And the whole essence of doing this is to make information available freely to you, to civil society, to anti-corruption agencies, to any interested person. So that if you have reason to believe that the disclosure is a wrong disclosure, then you can escalate, you can blow the whistle, and it will form a basis for investigation by investigators.
Welcome back to the program. We start off today with a disclaimer from the Commission. Wickedness Association of Nigeria, Lokoja Chapter. Our attention has been drawn to a certificate of registration making the rounds in the social media and claiming that the Commission registered the Wickedness Association of Nigeria, Lokoja Chapter. The certificate claimed that the association was registered as a business name on the 24th of December 2022 with the registration number BN 74101. We wish to categorically state that the purported certificate of registration of Wickedness Association of Nigeria, Lokoja Branch, was not and could not have been issued by the Commission for the following reasons. 1. The Commission does not register associations as business names. 2. The name and object of the association offends the provisions of Section 852, subsection 1c, in that there are undesirable, offensive, and contrary to public policy. And 3. The officer who purportedly signed the certificate had retired from the service of the Commission long before the date the certificate was purportedly issued. Accordingly, the general public is hereby informed that the purported certificate of registration of Wickedness Association of Nigeria, Lokoja Branch, is false, fake, and a forgery. It is wicked and fraudulent. We also wish to advise the general public to always cross-check the registration of entities by the Commission on search.cac.gov.ng at no cost. Signed, Management. From that now, we move on to a requirement made pursuant to CAMA 2020, alias the Game Changer. Section 119 of CAMA 2020 made the disclosure of the particulars of shareholders with significant control in all companies. And Section 120 further requires a shareholder in a public company and holding, either by himself or his nominee or proxy, shares in the company, which entitles him to exercise at least 5% of the unrestricted voting rights at any general meeting of the company, and is required to disclose such holding by notifying the company within a stipulated time. For more on this requirement, which is aimed at, amongst others, enhancing transparency, prevention of asset shielding, and combating money laundering and terrorism financing, let's now join Mr. Justin Nidiabirawo, the Director Compliance, CAC, in the second part of our interview segment on the PSC. Enjoy watching.
Mr. Nidia Justin Barrow, Director Compliance, many thanks for joining us on the program again.
Happy New Year to you. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
All right. So let's go to some of the benefits of the PSC, Persons with Significant Control. What are some of the benefits that the public needs to know beyond, the fact that people know who the real persons behind the company?
Well, the immediate benefit that you can think of is that one, it enhances transparency and accountability requirements. Then it also helps in the course of investigation.
Okay.
So if, for instance, law enforcement agencies want to know who are behind a company, they can easily get the beneficial owners. So one, it helps transparency and accountability requirement. Then two, it helps in the course of investigation. Then above all, it also helps a country in the fight against corruption and terrorism financing.
Okay.
So those are the instances where the persons with significant control information comes in handy.
Oh, okay.
Because it is recognized all over the world that what is called predicate offenses are committed usually through legal personalities, not by individuals directly.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. So in case you have somebody who will say, yes, I want to invest in your company, but I don't want to be known, I don't want to be seen.
Well,
what happened in such scenarios?
Well, before the disclosure requirement, that one is possible by what is called blind trust.
Okay, blind trust.
Yeah, blind trust.
Oh, okay. I'm hearing that for the first time.
Yes.
Blind trust.
Blind trust.
No, we used to hear blind love. I don't know that there is blind trust.
There is a blind trust in
Okay.
which maybe you give money to either a trust institution or an individual and ask him to invest the money for you. And the benefits he also collects and render returns and give it back to what is called the beneficial owner.
Okay.
Yes, but you hardly see that real owner in any documentation. So that is what is called blind trust.
Okay.
So, but the idea now is to shift away from.
So there is no blind trust, no room for blind trust anymore.
In some other jurisdictions still have it, but almost all over the world now, people are moving away from what is called opaque corporate personality in favor of disclosure and accountability.
Okay. So it's a global transparency.
It's a global trend and it's a global requirement.
All right. What's the relationship between the PSC and FATF?
Well, like we said, the Financial Action Task Force, or what has come to be popularly called the Edmond Group, controls financial transactions in the world. And under what has come to be known as Regulation 24 and 25, legal personalities now, that is companies and what is called legal arrangements, are required for reasons of transparency and accountability to collect beneficial ownership information. And not only to collect, but in other climates, it is required that those information should be publicly made available to members of the public.
Okay.
And it should be made publicly available to them free of charge.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's go to the OGP. That's the Open Government Partnership. What is the relationship here?
Well, like Part F, we would recall that our president gave a commitment.
Yes, that's in the London Transparency Summit 2016.
2016, he gave a commitment that Nigeria will fulfill all its obligations under the Open Government Partnership.
Okay, but what are the obligations of countries?
Part of the obligation
is the PSC.
Is the PSC, that Nigeria should maintain a national register of beneficial ownership that should be open and accessible to members of the public.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So that's where the relationship comes in.
That's what the relationship is.
Okay.
And since that commitment, the Commission has tried to fashion out the beneficial ownership register that will meet the global requirement.
Okay. What is the global requirement?
The global requirement is that that register, there should be a central register of beneficial ownership. That is one. That register should be accessible to members of the public generally, but particularly to what we call also competent authorities. And by competent authorities, we mean either the law enforcement agencies or other regulatory agencies whose functions will require the use of beneficial ownership information.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And failure to meet up with this, it means you are no longer a partner.
No, of course, for you to become a responsible member of the international organizations that
the Open
we
Government Partnership
that we have mentioned, you are required to fulfill those obligations.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. What about those members who are very slow, to meet up?
They will be encouraged.
Oh,
they will be encouraged to come up to a speed.
Are there also penalties for members who are not meeting up?
They encourage.
Okay, they only encourage.
They encourage members to come up to speed. And
with what kind of incentive?
Sometimes they also provide technical assistance.
Okay.
Yeah, for members to come up to that speed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How simple is the register?
The register of persons with
yes, how simple is it?
It's electronic,
and
people can access it on what we call BOR at cac.gov.ng.
Okay.
You can access any information on persons with significant control through our portal. The link is what I've said, BOR at cac.gov.ng.
Yeah, okay.
You can search either using company name or the RC number. Then when you also reach the relevant page, you can check by surname.
Okay.
When you are on the page of the beneficial ownership, you can check by surname or by first name.
Okay.
Yes. So it's easy, and like we say, it's free.
Yes.
But that's kind of like open secret, isn't it? So people now know that I have just 100,000 in a company, which I don't want people to know.
Well, the law requires that the disclosure should be made.
Okay.
Yes. And,
irrespective of what you own.
Irrespective, but there are certain information.
Like my house address.
Your house address, your date of birth, and other sensitive information.
Like
GSM number. Those that are required by what we call data regulation.
Okay.
To be protected. Those type of information ordinarily should not be made available to the public.
Okay. Yeah. So now what will be made available is just my name and the number of shares that I own.
Yes.
Case closed.
Yeah.
No GSM number, no house address, no office address.
No office. There is, the law makes a difference between what we call office address and residential address.
Okay.
So yeah, but because of the risk involved in disclosing a residential address, that's why data protection regulation requires that those type of information should actually be encrypted. That's the technical word. They should be encrypted.
Okay.
So it's not that nobody could access them. The law enforcement agencies
Okay, who wants it can...
on need basis.
Okay.
Can always access those information, but not generally available to the public.
Okay, so that's some kind of relief to people who don't want all those details to be, especially in this era of insecurity.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's go to the responses so far. I mean, since 2021 that the implementation has started till date, what is the response like? Is it good enough?
Well, like any
or
other
is it fair?
like any other new concept, the response has been slow.
Okay.
But the Commission has taken a lot of measures, part of which is the awareness. We have held sensitization awareness.
Yes.
In Lagos, we have done
a number of workshops from Kano to Nasarawa to Lagos. Yes.
So we want to raise the awareness that it is in the overall interest of individuals.
Okay. Are there more workshops to be taken in 2023 this year?
Yes, of
on
course.
The same, do you
on
open
on the same
on the PSC?
Of, beneficial ownership.
Okay, okay, just to get more people involved.
Yeah, more people involved.
Okay, okay, okay. Before we round up, still on the PSC and its benefit, what does the country gain from having an open beneficial register?
Okay, what does Nigeria stand to gain?
Stand to gain.
Of course, one...
I know that is part of the obligation of the OGP and the FATF, but as a country, what do we stand to gain?
First of all, we recognize that Nigeria is part of the global community.
Yes.
Yes, and we cannot afford to be an island on its own.
Okay.
But specifically talking about the benefits, if we are able to get the issues of financial action, of which beneficial ownership is only a part of it. Our country's financial system, in particular, will benefit.
Okay.
Because they will find it easy to clear their instruments, international instruments, and their own also that are arising from this country will easily be recognized and cleared all over the world.
Okay. What are some of the challenges that the Commission has, faced in implementation of the PSC?
Well, the major ones, like you have said, is just that that of the slow response of the general public to it, and that is understandable for the reason that it's a new concept.
And it's technical, isn't it?
And it's technical. Apart from that, we also recognize that you have to re-engineer the process.
Okay.
To admit the new requirement.
Is it re-engineer or re-simplify?
No, re-engineer, because you will notice that the registration process, which is online before CAMA 2020, did not admit the requirement for beneficial ownership disclosure. So from inception, when CAMA was assented to by the President, there was the need to actually also develop a process that will collect beneficial ownership information at the point of registration.
Okay.
So what it means is that the old process have to be re-engineered to admit the new requirement.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. So there is no simplifying the process anymore. It's already simple.
Oh, it's very simple. Okay. It's very simple because the forms have been amended to factor in the requirements of beneficial ownership, like we said, one at the point of registration, two at the point where somebody has given notice, that's in the course of administration of the company, then three during annual returns. So there are specific forms that for the one at the point of registration, the pre-incorporation form has been redesigned to collect the information from the inception.
Okay.
Then for the one that occur in the course of management and administration of the company, there is a special form that is designed for it online. Members of the public or those that are in charge of company administration are required to fill the form and submit it online.
Okay.
Then at the point of annual return also there is a specific column in the annual return form to capture the information.
Oh, okay. All right. Mr. Lydia Justin Barrow, thank you very much indeed for your time as always.
Oh, thank you, Harvey.
All right.
And now we move on to another breathtaking achievement for the Commission as it continues to digitize processes with undiminished intensity. On 21st December 2022, the Commission successfully deployed 3 additional components to the company's registration portal to satisfy the yearnings and aspirations of valued customers. Deployment of additional components on the company registration portal CRP for filing of surrender, allotment, transfer and transmission of shares. The Commission wishes to notify its esteemed customers and the general public that additional components has been deployed on the company registration portal CRP for the filing of the following notices. 1. Surrender of shares to company as a gift. 2. Allotment of shares. 3. Transfer of shares. And 4. Transmission of shares. The above is in addition to alteration of memorandum and articles of association of a company and amendment of constitution of incorporated trustees, which components had since been deployed and active on the CRP. Signed, Management. Thumbs up for the CAC. It is now time to take you on a trip to register a company on your own. Let's go.
Company registration. To begin, reserve the company name that you intend to register and then proceed to click on Start Registration to begin. Step 1. Enter the details of the company. Click on Save and Continue. Step 2. Add the objects of the company. Click on Save and Continue. Step 3. Under Articles of Association, you can either create your own Articles of Association or simply adopt the default Articles of Association provided. You can also edit each part of the default Articles of Association to fit your company's purpose. Click on Save and Continue. Step 4. Under Directors, enter the details of at least one director. If you want to hide your residential address from public record, click on the Hide Residential Address from Public Record toggle button. Click on Save and Continue. Step 5. Under Secretary, this requirement is optional for small companies and you may skip the step by clicking on the Click Here link button to proceed. However, if you wish to add a secretary, click on the Add Secretary button, enter the details of the secretary, and click on Save and Continue. Step 6. Under Statement of Issued Share Capital, add the share details and enter details of proprietor and click on Save and Continue. Note, you must allot the entire issued share capital. Step 7. Under Persons with Significant Control, enter the particulars of the person with significant control of the company. Step 8. Under Statement of Compliance, if you are an applicant or an accredited agent other than a legal practitioner, fill in your details and click on Save and Continue, or you can skip this step. Under Document Upload, scan and upload all the documents labeled Yes under the If Required column, and where the documents labeled Optional applies to you, please scan and upload to avoid a query on your application. Click on Save and Continue to preview. Step 9. Preview your entries and if satisfied, click on the Proceed to Payment in order to make payment. Remember to remain on the remitter page after you have received a confirmation of payment. Step 11. After payment, you will be redirected to your dashboard where you will make payment for your stamp duty. After making payment, your application will enter the pending panel on your dashboard under registration. When your registration has been approved, your certificate will be automatically generated on your registered panel where you can download and print it.
What are you waiting for? Do not hesitate. Go now and register your company online. And that does it for this week's edition of the program CAC Weekly. We do hope you enjoyed watching. Remember, for comments and inquiries, you can please take advantage of our social media handles and our helpline. On Twitter, it is CAC Nigeria 1. On Instagram and Facebook, it is Corporate Affairs Commission. Our email is cservice@cac.gov.ng. You could visit our website via www.cac.gov.ng. And our helplines are on the numbers 081 822 99016 or 081 822 98971, 090 874 01598 or 090 874 01599 and 090 874 01600. Do join us again next week for another interesting edition of the program, same time and same station. I am Amina Jibril, saying bye for now.